She was 26 years old. She couldn't leave her house without permission. She couldn't spend her own money. She couldn't choose her own lawyer. Her bodyguards were taking bribes from paparazzi. The entire world watched, but nobody stopped it. This lasted 13 years. February 16, 2007, a 25-year-old woman walks into a hair salon in Tarzana, California. She sits down, she picks up the clippers, and she shaves her own head. The cameras are already there. They are always already there. The world sees a breakdown. But here's what the world doesn't ask. How did the photographers know which salon she walked into? That question has an answer, and the answer changes everything. To understand what happened to Britney Spears, you have to go back to the beginning, not the music, the machinery. She was 11-year-old when she joined the Mickey Mouse Club. 11. She was already performing for industry before most child have finished elementary school. By 17, she released Baby One More Time. It spent 32 weeks at the top of the charts. Overnight, she was the most famous teenager on the planet. But fame at that scale doesn't come alone. It comes with handlers, with managers, with image consultants, with a machine that tells you what to wear, what to say, who to be, and what never to reveal. From the very beginning, Britney Spears was a product, a carefully constructed one. And the problem with the products, it's that the people who build them believes they own them. Through the early 2000s, the media didn't cover Britney Spears. They hunted her. Every moment, every stumble, every parking lot, every gas station, every moment of imperfection, photographed, published, and monetized. In 2006, she was photographed driving with her infant son on her lap. She later explained paparazzi had surrounded her car. She panicked. She was trying to escape. They reported it as a recklessness. They left out the part about being surrounded. This was the pattern, manufacture the chaos. Remove the context, sell the image. When she shaved her head in February 2007, Britney lost it. But the salon owner Esther Tagnozzi later revealed something that barely made headlines. One of Britney's own bodyguards, the man paid to protect her, kept opening the blinds. Her photographers was hiding on the other side. Her own protection details were selling access to the people to destroy her. She didn't have a breakdown in that salon. She had a moment of raw, desperate agency. I don't want anyone to touching me, she told that tattoo artist afterwards. I am tired of everybody touching me. This is not the statement of someone who had lost their mind. This is a statement of someone who has been haunted until they snapped. By early 2008, Britney had been hospitalized twice on psychiatric holds. On February 1st, a Los Angeles judge placed her under a conservatorship. The intention, they said, was protection. Temporary, just until she stabilized. It lasted 13 years. Was appointed conservator of both her estates and her person. That meant he controlled her money, her medical decisions, her visitors, her schedule, her medications, her career. She was 26 years old. She was legal adult with $60 million estate. An estate she had built herself. Through years of performance, residencies, endorsements, and albums, she was told she could not access it without his approval. Think about it. She would go on to complete 4-year Las Vegas residency. She released albums. She earned. The machine kept running, but she couldn't make a single financial decision within it. In her own words from 2021, quote, testimony. What state allow people to own another people's money and accounts and threaten them saying, you can't see your money unless you do what we want you to do? The answer is California, and it allowed it for over a decade. Here is the part that is most uncomfortable. This was not hidden, not entirely. Fan noticed. The hashtag Free Britney movement began years before it became mainstream. People were raising alarms in 2019. Some were raising them even earlier. But they were dismissed, called conspiracy theorists, mocked by the same media that had profited from her destruction for years. When Britney attempted to speak in a court, 2021, for the first time publicly, what she described was not the life of someone who had needed protection. It was the life of someone who had been controlled by people claiming to protect her. She described being forced to perform against her will, being denied the right to remove an IUD, being surveilled inside her own home, being given medication she didn't want and couldn't refuse. These were not allegations from a tabloid. These were statements made under oath in open court. The judge listened, so did the world. And for a moment, everyone felt the same thing, shame, because the sign had been there for years. On November 12, 2021, the conservatorship was terminated. 13 years, 9 months, and 11 days after it began, Britney Spears walked out of the courtroom a legal-free adult for the first time. She was 26-year-old. In 2023, she published her own memoir, The Woman in Me. It became an intermediate bestseller. In it, she detailed what those years actually felt like from the inside. The control, the isolation, and the slow erosion of self. And in 2025, the state of California passed the Free Britney Act, stricter conservatorship overnight, mandatory reviews, protections that did not exist when she needed them the most. Her suffering changed the law. But here is the question that still haven't a clear answer. How did this happen in the first place? How did a woman, famous, wealthy, with millions of fans, get placed into a legal captivity for 13 years while the world watches and almost no one in the position of power does anything? The answer is not complicated. It is just uncomfortable. She was a woman. She was in an industry that had already decided she was a product. And when a product stops performing correctly, you don't listen to it. You fix it. Britney Spears was never crazy. She was convenient. The conservatorship is over. The law has changed. But the industry that made it possible hasn't. The machinery that haunted her still exists. The people who profited from her faced almost no consequences. And somewhere right now, there is another young person at the center of that same machine, performing, earning, smiling on cue, with no idea what it's capable of. That is what the Britney Spears story is actually about. Not a breakdown, a system.